up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor Bob, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys another life update. So you guys, I no longer live in Dallas, Texas. I actually moved back to my hometown in Louisiana, and I moved back in with my parents at 27 years old. Now that I think about it, it is such a transition that just like happened, and I had to share this moment with you guys because you guys have been following my journey, the good times, the bad times, you know, but I feel like this was the best move that I could have made for myself right now at this point in my life. And mentally, I just feel so much happier just being back home near my family. And I had a lot of highs in Texas. I've had a lot of lows in Texas as well. But I think that, you know, I've accomplished some really great things in Texas. I started my corporate career, started my natural hair journey. I did a dance workout video. I got to speak on a panel at Texas Women's University. What else did I do? I got to try out for the Dallas Mavericks dance team. I met some really cool people. So I did a lot when I was in Dallas, y'all. So I was in Dallas for the past 5.5 years, and I finally decided, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and close my Texas chapter. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it did take me some time to finally get to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna move home. So yeah, so it took me about a good 2.5 years thinking about it to actually finally make a move. But here I am, y'all. I am back in my room. If you guys see like these little spots and stuff like that, it's because I'm right next to a window. But yeah, so I'm like back home in my room at my parents' house, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. But I am literally like restarting everything. Everything is just changing, y'all, and yeah, and I'm super excited. So this video is to pretty much let you guys know exactly why I decided to leave Dallas, Texas. I came up with kind of 4 reasons on why I decided to make that move for myself, and I also wrote it down too. So if you guys see me looking down, that's pretty much why I'm looking down. But yeah, I'm happy to be back home, y'all. I'm really happy just to be back, you know, near my family and stuff like that. And there's no place like home, you know, but I really did move, y'all. Like U-Haul trailing everything. Like I moved, like gone, okay? And I actually got my Louisiana license yesterday. So I've been in Louisiana for about a week and like 3 days, and yeah, and I already got my license. This video isn't to bash the city of Dallas or anything like that. If you're like an outgoing person, if you love the social scene, you love brunch, going to events, Dallas is the place to be, okay? Dallas is a great city. It was just unfortunate that I decided to leave Dallas, but you know, my family is pretty much here, and I felt like being 6 hours away, I was kind of getting annoyed with that, and I kind of wanted to be able to just be near my family and be able to like visit on weekends and stuff like that. The first reason I decided to go ahead and leave Texas, I just started to feel like Texas was not it. After a while, and I had been feeling like that for like a few years. So I actually lived in the Dallas Metroplex. So the first city I lived in was Irving. I lived in Irving for about 4 years, and then I recently moved to Richardson, Texas about a year ago. So I stayed there, and I tried to go to a different city to see if it would kind of, you know, change my mind about Dallas, but I still came to the conclusion that nah, like this is not it. Like something is just missing, and I really just didn't like it after a while. I was like, I'm tired of just coming home, you know, to myself, and it was just, no, it just wasn't it. Okay. The second reason is pretty much I felt like I had no real sense of community around me. I think having that real sense of community from family and friends, I feel like both of those are very important. And I feel like if you don't have both of those communities around you consistently, I feel like it can definitely like mess with your mental health. As far as me, you know, I felt that I was missing like my nephew's and my niece's birthday. Like, you know, I was missing all the family barbecues. Like I was just missing that community aspect. I was missing, you know, going to my grandpa's house on Sundays and just kind of not being able to go down the street if I wanted to go, to my mom's house and stuff like that. So I really couldn't, do that because I didn't really have that solid community around me. And then as far as friends, I felt like I met a lot of people through different jobs that I had. But my friends in Texas that I had were more so like associates. And I don't mean anything bad by this. I simply mean that, we would only see each other every couple of months, whether that be for each other's birthdays or, we would just hang out to go to an event together. I had those types of friends in Dallas, but after a while I was like, you know what? I don't feel a real sense of community around me. And I just didn't like that either about living in Texas. The reason, y'all, is because I want to save my coin, period. So I done calculated how much money I spent on rent in Dallas, and it was 5 figures, y'all. That's a lot of money, okay? I felt like my student loans could have been paid off, okay? But instead I was paying rent. So yeah, I felt like I spent a lot of money on rent, and specifically the apartments that I lived in were considered luxury apartments. So they had, luxury amenities and stuff like that. And I also wanted to make sure to choose places that were very safe for me as a single female. Like I said, no one lived with me. I don't have any pets or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that I was in a safe, gated community, and that's why I chose the 2 apartment complexes that I lived in. But yeah, I really did like that they had the parking garages where I can go into a garage and stuff like that, and all of the doors and stuff like that. It was pretty much gated. And I did try to move into a cheaper apartment once, y'all, and it just wasn't for me. I didn't like that they didn't have like, the parking garage and stuff like that. And I didn't like that it was kind of like out in the open and not gated. So I really didn't like that. Living in a luxury apartment, I did love, having like the valet trash and stuff like that, and having like, the top-notch gym equipment and stuff like that. My last apartment, they had a room full of like Peloton bikes and all the new like fitness stuff, and they had a pretty nice pool and stuff like that. So I did want to stay in places that were considered nice for myself. And then some of you are probably wondering, well, girl, why you just didn't go ahead and buy you a house? Sis? Why were you paying that rent? So I actually did have a realtor back in 2018. Her name was Claire. And I had actually worked with her, and I was trying to get me a condo. And that was pretty much something that I had my mind set on. I was like, I don't want a single family home because I'm not gonna be out there cutting the grass, and I don't wanna have to worry about nobody cutting the grass and doing this and doing that. So that's why I wanted to look for a townhome or a condo. And I ended up finding one townhome, but the foundation was off on that townhome. And I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna move into, a place with a crappy foundation. So I didn't even put my offer in for that one. And then also there was a condo near the Galleria Mall that I really did love, y'all. It had like a whole bunch of mirrors in it, and it was just very modern, that like white modern look. I absolutely loved it. And I did put in an offer for that, and someone beat my offer. So I feel like the housing market in Texas is definitely competitive, and people will, come with it, when it comes to offers and stuff like that. So I was pretty sad, that someone beat my offer. And after that pretty much happened, I was like, I'm gonna just take this as a sign of God being like, girl, go sit down. Like, you just not ready for this. This is not your time to, own something right now. And I was okay with that. So, I continued to live in my apartment, and I actually recently moved to my last apartment about 10 months ago. So I stayed there from January to October from when I recently left about a week and a half ago. So yeah, so that was pretty much like my little journey, like in an apartment, trying to find, something cheaper, trying to find a townhome or condo and stuff like that. And I really wasn't trying to like force it. I just kind of took it as a sign, as like, you know what? God is saying, look, you're just not ready for this right now, and that's cool. So I'm happy that I'm able to, come home and not worry about paying so much rent and stuff like that, because living by myself, y'all, it was definitely a lot, and I'm proud of myself for even, being able to handle everything. You got to think about it, like car note, rent, utilities, electricity, the Netflix bill, pretty much like every little thing, you're pretty much responsible for. So it was definitely a big responsibility, and it was a costly responsibility as well, living in Texas by myself. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm about to do. I'm about to just stack my coin, live with my parents, pay a little bill, whatever they need me to do here, that's cool. But they are also really helping me reach my financial goals that I have set for myself, and they are willing to help me get where I want to be before I decide to go ahead and, you know, move out their house again. So I'm super excited to be really just saving my coin at this point in my life. And then the fourth reason that I wanted to move from Dallas back to my hometown, I think that my priorities have just changed, and I think what was important to me back then isn't as important to me now. I feel like, you know, when I was 18, 22, I was kind of like, you know, trying to like chase success, and I was just really hungry. I'm still an ambitious individual, but, you know, after certain things happened, I feel like, you know, it has made me see a little bit clearer that none of that stuff matters if you're not happy. And I feel that my family and stuff like that, I feel like that's something that's really important to me, you know, and it's okay to go and, you know, try to better yourself and try to be great. But I also want people to know that you don't have to specifically leave your hometown to be great. You know, and when I was like 18 to 22, I had that mindset, you know, it was kind of like, oh, I have to get out of here, you know, and I don't know, maybe in a year I might move back to it, you know, I might move back to Texas, or I might move, you know, to a different state. I'm not saying, you know, it's, you know, you can't move, but just know that you don't have to go that far to be successful. You can be successful wherever you are, you know, depending on the person that you are. So yeah, so I think that, you know, when my grandma died in 2018, that kind of, you know, played a part in why I wanted to move back home. And then also, when the pandemic hit, y'all, me going through that by myself pretty much at my apartment, that was pretty hard, because it's like, you know, you have like no one with you whenever you're experiencing these things. And then also this past February, when the Texas winter storm hit, you know, that was really scary as well. You know, I'm by myself, you know, no one's with me, you know, no pet. You know, I had no electricity and stuff like that. So I had to, you know, call the Uber Black, and I had to get to a hotel. Like, I have a whole video on how pretty much, you know, I was definitely traumatized by like the Texas winter storm and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I've just experienced like a lot of things like by myself in Texas. And I realized that, you know what, I have no desire like to live by myself at this point in my life right now. You know, maybe in the next couple of months I'll feel, you know, different, but as of now, I really don't want to live by myself at this point in my life. And yeah, and those things have really played a part just on my mental health, and just me wanting to feel safe, feel secure, and not feel so alone, you know, in some of those different times that happened and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just pretty much, you know, happy to be home. I know some of y'all are probably like, okay, so now you're home, like what's next? So pretty much what I plan to do here is I plan to live with my parents for a minimum of 1 year. And I plan on just saving my money and just working as much as I can. And then also while working, I definitely do want to work my side hustles as well. You know, so I got my influencer stuff going on. I definitely want to do that. But hopefully I can get more content for you guys, you know, more YouTube videos and stuff like that, and really build up that side hustle while I'm actually at home with my parents. I feel like that'll be, you know, the smart thing to do. And then in that process, I'll kind of decide where I want to go next. You know, do I want to stay in my hometown? Do I want to go in another city in Louisiana? You know, do I want to move to another state and stuff like that? But I know wherever I move next, it won't be that far. I have no desire on being, you know, more than, I don't know, like 3 hours away from my family. I don't want to be any further than that. I think it's crazy how people can, you know, move way across country and stuff like that. Like, I cannot imagine moving that far away, you know, from my family. But I did, you know, come home as much as I could, like for holidays and stuff like that. I remember like my first 2 years I lived in Texas, I would always fly home. And that wasn't cheap, you know, so I was really spending a lot of money to go back and forth at first. And then eventually, you know, I started driving once I kind of learned how easy the drive was to get to Dallas. But yeah, so I try to, you know, come home for holidays and stuff like that. But I definitely do just want to be able to come home, you know, when it's not a holiday. And I would never take like a weekend trip. You know, anytime I would visit Louisiana, I would always stay, you know, up to like a whole week. That's kind of how I would do things. I don't like little turnaround trips where like you leave Friday night and you come back Sunday. I hate those little trips. So I would pretty much never do that. But yeah, so that's pretty much, you know, what I'm going to do next, y'all. It's pretty much just stack my coin and kind of figure out where I want to go next. And then lastly, I definitely do want to leave you guys some advice. If you're in a similar situation to me, you know, maybe you're thinking about moving back in with your parents or family members and stuff like that, or maybe you have already moved in with your family. But I definitely say just use this as an opportunity to pour back into yourself, and to just, you know, let yourself relax mentally and kind of get yourself together. So for me, I can definitely be a person that I don't really like help. I don't really like to ask for help or anything like that. And, you know, I have a little bit of pride when it comes to things like this, like moving back in with my parents. You know, it kind of took a lot out of me to finally be like, okay, I'm coming home, you know, because I like to handle things on my own. But it's okay to let other people help you and stuff like that, and to just not be so hard on yourself. And I'm learning as I get older, if you can do things to make your life easier, do it, okay? And now, you know, my mindset has changed, and now I'm thinking like, look, after I save all this money and I go back out into this world again, you know, living by myself, or, you know, whatever's next, I'm gonna be well off. You know what I mean? So it's like now I'm thinking, you know, this is a moment that's gonna help me get to the next level, you know? So every single thing that happens in my life, every single thing that I do and I go through is just a stepping stone to get to the next level, y'all. But as for me, that's pretty much what I have going on right now. Like, I'm back home with my parents. Like I said, I feel great mentally. I feel happy. I feel, you know, very optimistic about me and my future. Like, I'm just feeling really good. And yeah, and that's pretty much why I decided to go ahead and make the move from Dallas back to my hometown in Louisiana. So I did record a video on like my move from Louisiana to Dallas, and I kind of talked about, you know, how I felt kind of living alone in Dallas. So if you guys want to check out that video, I'll leave that link for you guys to go ahead and check out below. If you guys have any questions about my move or any comments, make sure to leave that down below. Be sure to also give me a like and also subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys did enjoy this.